Hello fam, how are you all doing? Let's talk about money, financial decision. The money you have, how are you managing it? Are you budgeting? How are you spending it? This video is about worst financial decision ever made. Insane financial decision that people are making. Let's start off with these videos.
What is one of the worst financial decisions or mistakes you've ever made? I'll go first. I changed my insurance premium trying to save a couple dollars, took off the gap insurance, took off the rental insurance, made my deductible high as hell, and then guess what? Got in an accident about a month later and had to pay out of pocket like crazy. Didn't have a car for like a month and still had to get to work and make things shake. So yeah, that's me. That's one of my worst financial decisions. What about you? Tell me in the comments, what are some of your worst financial mistakes? Hey, this is a safe space. Because maybe somebody's scrolling through this video about to make a bad decision. They see the comments and they be like, you know what? I'm not doing that. Fuck that. And to be honest, I've made a lot of bad financial decisions, but I could have made a lot more. Sometimes you can see other people's situation and be like, you know what? Nah, not for me. So what are some of your worst financial decisions or mistakes? So me and everybody else can know we don't need to be doing that.
I've been going out to Starbucks to get my coffee every single day, and I realize that that's one of those things that people are like, oh, that's a very poor financial decision. So I considered trying to cut down on it. But then I realized that like right now, literally everything is a poor financial decision. Everything that we do is a poor financial decision. Putting 50% of your income towards rent is a poor financial decision. Taking out a student loan for hundreds of thousands of dollars where there's essentially no ROI whatsoever is a poor financial decision. Breaking your ankle, horrible financial decision. You want to get sick? That's a very fiscally irresponsible thing to do, kid. I'm sorry. Literally everything is a poor financial decision based on the definition that we have been told of a poor financial decision. So I'm just going to enjoy my Starbucks, like whatever. And I think that's the way that like a lot of young people feel right now is it's like we've kind of lost the ability to build for the future. So people are just like, whatever. I'm just like, why would I save now? I'm just going to enjoy my life because this is all going to come crashing down at some point. So I might as well have my little Starbucks and go to Fire Festival or do whatever I want to.
One of the worst things you could be doing right now is not managing your money right, regardless on how much money you make. Because I feel like right now in this economy, it's real easy to make bad financial decisions. I mean, the fact that I can finance just about anything kind of speaks to that. I got Klarna, Afterpay, Pay in 4, credit cards, loans, all kind of stuff. It's just a lot easier to go broke. I feel like the consumerism is really being pushed on us more and more. Like, gotta have that nice car that costs more every year. Gotta have a nice place with white cabinets and all up-to-date appliances. Oh, don't worry about getting up at all. Just use DoorDash and pay 40% extra for the convenience. Gotta go on vacation every few months to show off my friends, even if I can't afford it. And when I can't afford it, I can put it on Afterpay. What I mean is there's just so much temptation around spending your money that it just makes it more difficult every year. Like you really gotta have that discipline. Like you can go borrow your whole check before you even get it and be broke by payday. And all I'm saying is those expenses, they get expensive, and all this extra consumerism, it's a lot. And the way the economy is, you really gotta watch yourself.
What makes someone wealthy, someone financially stable, is not the amount of money you earn, but the amount of money you're able to save. A lot of people are struggling with saving money in this current age. There's a lot of temptation when it comes to buying things. The credit card units, people making things easier for you to be able to purchase. The purchasing power individuals have these days has gone so high that anyone can easily purchase anything, even without having the money. So it makes it difficult for people to even think of saving for the raining days. Let's take some comments from the very first video, the video where the man asked, what is the worst financial decision you've ever made? So here are people's responses in the comment section. Blowing up my money when I was younger at clubs and not saving. Credit card debt, swiping that shit is just so easy. Makes it easy for you to buy whatever you want to buy. They increase your purchasing power. Getting a new car while I was getting a student loan, and I don't even want to talk about credit cards. Buying a fixer upper money pit house. Financing a pre-owned car instead of tugging it out a little bit and purchasing a used one instead would have saved a lot of money in the long run. I bought a 2020 Range Rover Sport It's 2025 and it still needs a new engine. Consolidated my loans. Took dollars out of 401k, not realizing the taxes I would have to pay. I've learned since then. I made a lot of poor financial decisions, but this was the most costly one. I put 8k down on a 18 Camaro. I got rid of it about 2 years ago. I'm still paying off the tickets I got from the car. I can't catch a break every time I get paid. I have to pay them tickets down. Let's talk about people buying expensive cars when they can easily afford a less expensive one. If you decide to buy sports cars, Range Rovers, and you know you cannot buy that car like 3-4 times with the money you have currently, you can't afford it. Tell yourself the truth, you can't afford it. You buy the car and then you start struggling financially. You have to stop keeping up with the Joneses. Be true to yourself. Tell yourself the truth. Don't do things because people are doing it. Sometimes people buy expensive things just to show off, to make people feel like and believe that they are doing good, they are okay, they are happy, whereas inwardly they are struggling financially. They're just doing those things to prove a point. Or should I talk about the people that buy houses where we know they will be better off renting? You buy a house, you bring a liability to you because you keep paying to maintain that house. So what's the whole point? Why don't you rent? And when you tell people about renting, if you know you don't have the money, like you really don't have the money to buy the house, why then do you go for mortgage? When you tell people that go for mortgage, not to go for mortgage, they will tell you, oh, it doesn't make sense. Why should I be paying for the house when I can own it after 25 years? It's not about owning the house after 25 years. It's about you struggling financially. You obviously cannot keep up. Before getting a mortgage, what was your monthly income? What was your monthly expense? You decide to get a mortgage when you did not get a salary increase. What do you think is going to happen to your monthly expense? It's definitely going to increase. And if you're someone that is already struggling financially, what do you think is going to happen? It's going to get worse. I'm not saying that you shouldn't buy a house. If you can afford it 5 times, go ahead and buy a house. But don't buy a house and end up struggling. Some people are better off renting. Why should you be waiting for 25 years to pay off your mortgage when you know that if you live comfortably now financially, if you feel financially stable, you can have the clear head to think about ways to make more money? Think about it. Let's watch more videos on this.
Buying a home could completely destroy your financial future. When most people buy, they drain their entire life savings for the down payment, closing costs, and any furniture that's needed when they move in. Then they're locked into a 30-year payment that takes up most of their income, so they're not able to invest or jump on new opportunities. And if the market dips or they need to move, they're stuck and they're not able to easily get out. A primary residence doesn't make you money, it takes your money. And for most people, this delays financial freedom by years, if not decades.
Do you know the biggest, worst financial mistake I've ever made? Financing a car. Why didn't I listen to my dad when I sold my first car that he kindly bought for me and put that money down on a deposit on a finance car? He literally said, you're more or less stuck now, unless you want to pay like a balloon payment at the end, which is like 7 grand. Why did I do it? Because the irony is, that particular car got written off. Then, silly me, got this huge insurance payout and put that money down on an even more expensive car. But only me can pay their monthly payments back on my salary. I don't have a salary right now because I'm on maternity leave, which means a huge chunk of money of my maternity pay is going on a car that just sits and runs me to and from Morrison's or to my mum and dad's. And it's not even a brand new car, it's a 2018 plate, but it's costing me an absolute fortune. And I'm just so pissed off with myself. Here I am, literally, I emailed them on Monday to see if they could get me a cheaper car. Because as I've gotten older, I've realised that actually, who cares if you haven't got a flash car? I'm 23 years old, I don't need a flash car. The worst part is I literally look back and the insurance payout that I got could have been like a 5% house deposit. But here we are renting. Honestly, I wish that my dad could control my bank account. It actually makes me feel sick. I could be in such a different position right now. Thank God I paid extra for gap insurance, because it literally paid off my finance for the car that got written off, and then I just got the remaining lump sum back. And I still look at it now and I'm like, why? Why did I use that money to get another car? on finance, an expensive car on finance. I literally could have put money down on a house, on a 5% deposit. Don't get me wrong, it's not a massive deposit, but it's still a deposit. Now I literally spunked it up the wall. Anyone else feel me? Because it's just the worst fucking thing I ever did.
So I've always been a somewhat prudent person, but I'm going to share with you my worst financial decision I've ever made, and it is owning a car in Singapore. I'm sure you guys know that owning a car in Singapore is really expensive, so I decided to buy a second-hand car. What I didn't research on too much beforehand were the hidden costs of owning a car. For example, the maintenance you need to do on the car, and if you get a used car, there might be some issues, which unfortunately I faced a lot of these issues. Also, miscellaneous costs, for example, season parking at like my home, my office, and also a bit more pricey car insurance because I'm under 27. I thought I liked driving, and once I did it every day, I realized maybe not. Maybe I don't like to always find parking spaces. Sometimes I could reach a venue early but end up being 30 minutes late because I just could not find parking. The cost I paid for this mistake was a total of $22,000 for a car ownership of less than a year. So I bought my car for $40,000. I spent about $7,000 on miscellaneous stuff, for example, season parking, car insurance, road tax, cash car, and I sold it for $25,000. After running other calculations such as like taking Grab, even just going around by train in certain areas that are a bit more convenient like town, I realized that I don't really need a car at this stage of my life because I constantly travel. I am also remote working. So that is actually the main decision that pushed me to sell this car, because I was going to travel more often. And even when I owned the car, I was traveling every month. So the car would sit in the car park idle for like 1 to 2 weeks, which was a huge waste of money. And I think also a part of me was craving the independence of owning a car and not relying on anybody to get around. Another lesson would be to not make emotional financial decisions. So I don't really regret owning the car because it still brought me to many places. I had a lot of fun with my friends, going out. This was definitely a mistake on my end. If I could probably turn back time, I might not have gotten the car.
What's the worst financial decision you ever made in your life?
The worst financial decision I made was I bought a real expensive car and I didn't even have a house. People, do not spend more than $80,000 on a car and you don't even have a house, because the car depreciates the moment you take it off the lot. Invest in stocks, invest in real estate, save your money. That's how you do it. That was my worst decision.
Okay, what car was this?
It was a Dodge something. I can't even remember what
Like
it was.
a Charger?
Yeah, it was like something like that. Yeah, real expensive car. Wasn't worth it. Bad investment.
Okay. And then what's the best piece of finance advice you ever gotten before?
I think the best piece of finance advice, number one, learn how to balance basically your finances. Very important. Don't spend more than you make. As a matter of fact, every time you get your paycheck, at least take 1/3 of it and put it aside. Very important.
Oh, okay. And then last question. Hypothetically, if I were to give you $100,000, what would you do with it?
If you gave me $100,000, I would be trying to either put it into an annuity. I would try to invest maybe in real estate, and I would probably invest some of it in maybe stock, something like that,
Okay.
like Apple or Amazon, something that I think is going to give me a really good return.
Okay. Are you currently invested in anything right now?
So currently, I do have a brokerage account. I do have a 401k, savings. Basically, my plan right now is I want to be able to retire by the age of like 50. That's the goal.
Okay. This man on his stuff.
Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
all right.
Yes, sir, man.
I owned this car for literally 1 day. Okay, you guys, the past 2 days of my life have been so insanely stressful, and let me tell you why. So I bought my car. Woohoo! Yay! I didn't even get to really like enjoy it because the financing and like all of the contracting part, they f***ed me so hard. They messed me up so hard. I didn't realize how bad the refinancing contract was, blase. I didn't realize any of these things until, of course, I call my father and I tell him like, I'm all excited. I'm like, oh, they did this and this. And my dad's like, what? Basically, they signed me up for gap insurance, didn't need it. Honestly, guys, I can go back and forth about how shitty the contract was, but luckily there's a 2-day canceling like contract fee. So instead of buying this car that I was so excited to do, I am no longer buying this car, and I'm here at Mercedes-Benz right now and I'm dropping it off. I owned this car for literally 1 day. I'm just gonna trade it in, forget the contract, whatever. And in a few months, I will be getting into a new car, and And I say a few months because we have some life-changing things coming up that you guys don't know about yet, and you guys will know very soon, and then you will understand why it is not smart for me to get into a vehicle right now, okay? So stay tuned for that. But yeah, long story short, I feel like I really try to do what was best financially. I was like, okay, I'm going to buy this car for the low, and then I'm going to sell it, and I'm going to flip it, whatever. It was not that simple, and it was never that simple, and I'm just a girl. Walking away from the situation, I can say that I learned a lot and what not to do moving forward. So I am blessed and grateful for that. But I'm really not liking Mercedes-Benz right now, or like the people at this exact location, because of how they went about things. They literally played me. Anyways, I'm here. Let's drop it off. Whatever.
I brought Pumbaa. I brought him today for some emotional support. Come on, Pumbaa. Let's go. I have officially arrived with my special guest, Pumbaa.
Okay, this could be a little bit of a controversial opinion, but I feel like one of the worst financial decisions you can make is financing a vehicle. And I know because I've done it. And I feel like nobody talks about it. So let's talk about it. Okay, I think that was a bit of a hyperbole. It's not the worst financial decision you can make, but it can be if you don't understand what you're doing. At the time I financed my vehicle, I did not know what I was doing. Car dealerships literally thrive on the fact that most people are walking into that dealership uninformed and misinformed about several different things. There's a lot more that goes into financing a vehicle than just making your monthly payment. Most people are very misinformed about the interest rate that they're paying on their vehicle loan. I was very misinformed. The interest rate is basically the percentage of money that you are paying on top of the principal. These days, interest rates are very high across the board. So let's just assume that you are purchasing a $20,000 vehicle and that your interest rate is 8.99% per year. If you are paying for the vehicle over 5 years, and let's say you're paying $500 a month, at the end of the 5 years, you would have paid $12,500 in interest alone. So on top of the $20,000 that you paid for that vehicle. I did not know that at the time. So on top of the insane interest rate that I have on my vehicle, I'm also paying a hefty amount of my monthly budget towards my vehicle. If I didn't have this payment that I'm making on this vehicle, I would have a lot more disposable income than I do have right now. On top of this crazy interest rate stuff, having a car is just very expensive. You're paying on it monthly on top of your maintenance, your insurance, and a bunch of other things. I did not know winter tires cost as much as they did until I got a car. I did not know gas cost that much until I got a car. I'm not saying it's the worst financial decision I ever made or I could ever make, because the car will last me a very long time. But I'm just saying I was very misinformed about the decision that I made, and the decision will end up costing me a lot of money in the long run. So should you finance a car? It really depends on your financial situation. If you understand what it means to finance a vehicle and you can comfortably afford your payments, then yes, you should finance a car. But I do think that owning a cash vehicle where you have no car payments is the best way to go. So do with that information what you will.
Okay, let's take some comments under the video clips that speaks about financing a car being a mistake to them. This one says, when you see people driving around in a fancy car, everyone thinks they are rich, but in reality, they don't even own their car. True talk. The only thing you should finance is a house, not cars, not phones, just houses. Not everyone would agree with this advice, because for me, I think some people are better off renting than going into the home mortgage thing. No finance, you will thank me one day. I agree. I know sometimes you would say you need to do all these things so you can build up your credit score and all that. If you don't finance, how then do you intend to buy a new car though? This person is asking. And then she replied saying, thank you. This is what I want people to understand. Your mistake wasn't financing. It was refinancing a more expensive car. You can make these things work, no problem. I financed my last 2 for 8 years. Okay, this person is right. The problem isn't about financing. It's about what you're doing with the money they're giving to you, the opportunity they're giving to you. Not because you've been given the opportunity to finance a car, then you choose to finance a Range Rover. When you can finance little cars that are not that expensive, cars that are so easy to manage. So that's the point. Not because you have the opportunity to finance a car, you go for Lamborghini. You get the point. This one says it's called ego. True talk, because this is the reason why people go for things they originally cannot afford with their own money. Just want to show off and make people believe that they are living the life, when in reality, that's not the case. Cars are depreciating assets, need to come come up with 6k to finance PCP next January. I don't know where it's coming from. Some lessons are learned the hard way. We'll live and we'll learn. True, no one is perfect. Exactly, it's just a car. My 400 pounds 2007 Golf has me in zero debt and does exactly what your car does. It drives. This is exactly what I just said. Don't go for the most expensive car because you're given the opportunity. No, think about your income. What matters is your monthly income, your monthly expenses. If you're already struggling to survive with the income you have, why then would you go out there to take a car that's going to burden you up more, that's going to add more burden to you? It makes no sense. I took a loan for my car rather than finance. At the end, I would have paid the same as if I was on finance, and there is no balloon payment. Best decision I ever made. Let's talk about those expensive weddings. I don't get it. You would see a couple that is struggling financially having a flamboyant wedding, a wedding that is expensive. Why are you living life to please people? What point are you trying to prove? Why don't you cut your coat according to your material? Why can't you live within your means? You borrow money to have a wedding, an expensive wedding, a wedding that is going to last for few hours. You spend huge amount of money on halls, venues, on food, on inviting guests, where you know you don't have money to sustain the marriage. Does that even make sense? A lot of marriages end because of finance, because there's no money in the marriage, maybe because of too much expenses on the wedding day. Is it compulsory for everyone to have a big wedding? Is it even compulsory for you to have a wedding? If you want to go to the courthouse, you can do it without having the crowd. If you want to do the church wedding, you can do it without the crowd. People do things to please people that don't even care about them. When you're done pleasing them and then you become hungry, they don't even care. You'll be left to face your hunger yourself. People should learn to live lives for themselves rather than living life to prove points to people, to seek for validation. Tell me why a young adult that is struggling financially is having a big elaborate wedding. Why? If not that they are keeping up with the Joneses, if not that they are trying to show off, to oppress and impress. Having a big wedding when you clearly cannot afford it is a wrong decision. Going to borrow money to throw a wedding, to have a big wedding, is a wrong move. It's a bad financial decision. This is my opinion. Relationships can also lead you to making a wrong decision financially. We have a couple of men talking about it. They said their girlfriends are the worst financial decisions they made. As a man, deciding to get into a relationship, you need to have money. Very important. Not necessarily because you need to fund the girl, but for yourself. You need to be stable financially. It's important. Because I tell you, no girl wants to be in a relationship with a man that expects her to feed him. Then some men believe that it is their responsibility to feed and fund the girl they are dating. This is how the society puts it. The man is the head, the leader. So men take that upon themselves to sponsor the woman, the girl they are dating, which doesn't make sense to me, in my opinion. If the girl is not disabled, she should also have her own work, her own money. Relationship is not a charity program. It's not poverty program that pulls people out of poverty, if you get what I mean. Let's have a look at these videos.
Okay, here are 5 of the worst financial mistakes a young man can make in his 20s. Number 1, obvious, getting a girlfriend or dating someone that they can't afford. This is going to be controversial, but it's a fact. Most women, especially younger, are just in a different tax bracket than most young men. And that is because you could easily find a simp, just someone who has more money than you, or an older person who would provide more than you can. And that is just a fact. So if you are dating someone who you can't afford, don't get mad. Don't try and force them to change their lifestyle. That person isn't for you. You can find women who don't care about money, sure, but don't change the ones who do. That's what I'm saying. Number 2, building a lifestyle based on debt. So I'm talking about financing cars, Klarna on clothes, using your credit card on a night out, because all you're doing is borrowing from your future self. Yes, debt can be a tool, but not consumer debt. That will just hurt you. Number 3, treating savings as optional. Now, most men wait until they're earning more to start saving. Problem is lifestyle creep. If you can't save, let's say £200 on $2,000 a month, you're not going to save $2,000 on, 20,000 a month. So start saving now, let it compound. Number 4, chasing quick money schemes. Forex, crypto, day trading. You guys just get lured in by all of these just quick money schemes, and you're just making someone else rich. A lot of you guys are just losing out. I'm not even going to explain more than that. And Last one, postponing financial literacy. If you can't read your payslip, if you don't know how to do your taxes, or you can't understand your taxes, if you don't understand how a pension works, you're just outsourcing your future self to luck. And if you're not taking advantage of like lifetime ISAs, high interest savings accounts, and if you're not investing early, there is just free money that you're just losing. Decades of compounding growth. Anyway, just my opinion.
What was the worst financial decision that you made throughout your career?
Oh man, getting married, man. Getting married, man. My divorce wiped me out. It was terrible. Marriage is a business. I didn't look at it like that. You know, I was one of those sucker for love kind of guys. So I was, I'm in love, you know. It's a business. And if you don't look at it like that, that could be one of the worst financial mistakes you make. I'm being honest, being very blunt. Wiped me out, had to start over from scratch.
What's the worst financial decision you ever made in your life?
Bro, get a girlfriend, bro. Hell nah, bro. Dude, you're dropping money every day. That's just like a monthly bill that will not go away, and it increases every month, bro. Don't do that. You got birthdays, you got holidays, you got Valentine's Day. Hell no. If you make your anniversary day between Christmas and Valentine's Day, just give up, bro. I'm sorry. Just give up, bro.
What's the most you ever spent on a girl?
10 bands.
10 bands?
10 bands.
What did you buy?
Oh, there's plenty of gifts, you know, all the holidays. Come on. Yeah. We all been there. Yeah.
Hey, are you still with her now?
Nah. Not now, nah.
You regret it?
Nah. Better love doing lost than never loving all, bro. That's all I gotta say.
Wow, that's smooth. I like that.
Yeah, of course.
Let me ask you, what's the best side hustle in Long Beach right now?
I don't even know, man. I honestly don't have a side hustle right now, but like I know there's plenty out there. You know, find what fits you the best, but I couldn't tell you.
Okay. What's the worst financial decision you ever made in your life?
Having a stay-at-home girlfriend.
A stay-at-home girlfriend?
Yeah.
So you pay for everything?
Yes.
Okay, why do you say that?
Wasn't my wife. It was a girlfriend. So they can up and leave at any point they want to.
Is that what she did? Yeah. That's the thing about women, huh? Or not, you tell me.
It's not the thing about women, it's the thing about certain women, right?
About certain women, correct.
Certain women don't know what they want, and even if you provide everything that she may want, you just might not be the one for her.
Yeah. And then how that make you feel when she left?
It hurt, because at the end of the day, you're just thinking about all the money you spent, all the time you lost, and then it's like, damn, that wasn't even my wife.
Right.
I was just my partner.
Yeah, so looking back, retrospect, do you regret it?
I don't. I appreciate the love, but I do kind of wish I took somebody else to Europe with me.
Yeah. I feel that. All right.
What has been your biggest financial mistake?
My ex-girlfriend.
Oh, okay. In what way?
Vacations and, just dinners. Just
Okay.
didn't work out.
And this is why she's your ex-girlfriend.
This is why.
Okay. And if you could go back, what would you change?
It was a good experience, so
Yeah.
lesson learned. I don't think I'd change much.
Lesson learned. So
Yeah.
now just pay for less vacations and dinners?
Yeah, stay single.
Stay single. Okay, that's the advice. Well, thank you very much. I
Thanks.
appreciate your time. Thank you. What has been your biggest financial mistake?
My ex-girlfriend.
Oh, okay.
More people need to believe me when I say who you get into a relationship with and who you marry is likely gonna be the biggest financial decision of your life. Not necessarily in a bad way. Couples can build wealth in ways that they just can't by themselves, for example. But the risk is obviously there too. I mean, people refinance their homes to fund their divorce. They lose their assets. They have to break their pensions, their savings. But the existence of risk doesn't mean that it's bad. Like with anything with risks, you have to understand the risks and you have to mitigate the risks. And in the context of settling down with someone, that means talking to a divorce lawyer to make sure you understand what it is that you're getting yourself into and getting an agreement in place for you and your partner to choose what's going to happen in the event that love actually is not forever. I get that it's not romantic, okay, but you also don't want to be that person who says their biggest financial mistake was their ex.
In my opinion, life is straightforward. Life is simple. Don't try dating a girl that is way above your league. You're going for a social media influencer that is a traveler. What do you think she will require you to do for her in that relationship? Of course, pay for her travel ticket. Buy her expensive items. If you know that you're struggling financially, why don't you date girls that are within your league financially? Why don't you go for girls that are not going to stress you financially? Men know within them that the girl they're going for is above them, but they still want to go for such girls, and then they be the ones complaining, talking about your girlfriend being your worst financial decision. Did you not know she had high taste? Did you not know she was high maintenance before dating her? And when you found out, what did you do? You wanted to please her. You wanted to live fake life, be who you're not, and then you're on the internet crying, my girlfriend did this, my girlfriend ruined my money, my finances, she's the worst financial decision I've ever made. Please learn to date within your league. It's as easy as that.
Worst financial decision I ever made was signing up for Fabletics. When I was like 23 years old, I worked at a sports apparel company, and we worked with Adidas and a lot of other sports companies, but like the whole thing was that you wear sports apparel. And so I signed up for Fabletics because that was the uniform. And so I've been paying monthly dividends to Fabletics, and I simply can't keep up. So I just found out that there's a Fabletics store in one of the Orange County malls. So I went in there and I said, we're buying out all these credits and I'm canceling this membership because I have been paying for years. I'm a big investor in Fabletics. And you know what they always say? They're like, oh, well, you could cancel, but we could give you a gift card for like $10. I'm like, no, it's time. It's been 10 years. I've had this membership for 10 years. It's time to let go of my Fabletics membership. The time is now. I'm sorry, Fabletics. You've been good to me. I guess actually I've been more good to you. But the time is over. Our relationship is over.
I've been making videos about some of my best financial decisions, but I'm not perfect. I make mistakes too. Or like I learn lessons. So let's talk about some of my worst financial decisions, which like none of them are that crazy because I'm generally risk averse, but these are some of the things that haven't gone like according to plan. This video is about crypto. Earlier this year, whilst I was like prepping for business school, I was like, let me try and diversify my investments some more. And crypto was something that I'd never really been interested in. So, but I was like, should I dip my toe into this just a little bit whilst like I'm actually earning money? Because I will not be investing in crypto jobless as a student, you know, so may as well try it now. I asked a friend of mine and he told me about Solana, and I put a little bit of money in there. I didn't put anything that I wasn't willing to lose, right? Because especially when it comes to crypto, my God, it's so volatile sometimes that you don't want to be putting your life savings in there, even though I know some people who have. And this is also a lesson in like, you can listen to people's experiences, right? And make decisions based on that, but make sure you're making the decision you want to make because you have to live with the outcome, right? Not only have I not made any money off of Solana, I've actually lost a little bit of money. Nothing major, nothing that I'm like, oh God, no, like, but something that's just like, oh, that's life, you know? Some things win, some things lose.
What is the biggest waste of money?
A 4-year degree. And to be honest with you, that's probably one of my biggest regrets because you spend the first 2 years and a lot of extra money taking courses that for a lot of people you just took in high school. And sometimes these are courses that have nothing to do with the degree that you were seeking. I was an English major. I'm a finance writer. And of all the companies that I've worked with over the years as a freelancer, to my knowledge, and these are companies that pay good money, to my knowledge, only one company has ever required a degree. Most of the time, the only thing that they care about is that I know how to write and that I know about money. Looking back, I could have bypassed the entire degree and simply taken a few writing classes.
All right, I want you to stitch this with the worst financial decision that you've made in your life. For me, it's easy. I poured $255,000 into my 401k account over 17 years at my corporate sales job because it was matched and pre-taxed. What a bunch of nonsense. When I could have easily taken that money and purchased $1.25 million worth of real estate. That's 20% down payments, 10 properties, grossing $12,500 per month. That portfolio now would probably be worth $2.5 million. Who knows? Maybe even more. I'd have a ton of equity in the properties because the loans would have been paid down massively by tenants. I'd have a bunch of tax benefits. That is a sweet retirement, not the 401k. Stitch me yours.
Let's continue this conversation in the comment section. Feel free to share with us in the comment section the worst financial decision you've ever made. Are you into the habit of saving, or you don't think saving does make sense? Let me say this. Some people don't believe in saving. They believe in living in the moment. Some people would say, after all, everyone is going to die. Who knows tomorrow? I might not see the next day, so I might as well eat all I have today. Although that does make sense, but what if you don't die today? Are you going to die of hunger tomorrow? Think about it. Let me know what you think about this video in the comment section. Financial literacy is important. Saving is important. Like I said, what makes you a wealthy person is not the money you earned, but the money you were able to save and invest. Please like this video, comment, subscribe, and share with your friends and family. Thanks. See you all in the next one.